Sit Down for Stand Up podcast with me, Daniel. And today we have, a good comedian, Shawnee. Hello, how are we?
Hello, my friend. How are you, man? I'm good. I'm good.
I'm dying. The
You know,
heat, I'm dying at the moment.
mate, let me tell you something. I'm sitting here sweating like a slave, man. You got no idea. I'm sitting here
Background,
like
ain't good, is it? Oh,
it's bad, man. It's bad. You have no idea. Look how tanned I am, man. I was white when we started this podcast. Jesus. Yeah.
you're actually from Antarctica. It's just the heat's double quick, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying, man. It's not good, brother. It's not good. And I'm Jamaican as well. I'm supposed to be able to tolerate this stuff. You know what I mean? It's, nah,
Well, the
nah, it's
thing
not
is,
working out.
we moan when it's cold and we moan when it's hot. So
Yeah. Well, we're
it,
British. We just moan. That's what
it's
we
it's
do.
in the culture. It's in
100%.
it's in the culture. So yeah, so let's go straight into it. So we're a comedian. How long have you been gigging for?
I've been gigging since February.
Uh,
So yeah, started in February. I wrote 5 minutes. I went to the infamous Holly Bush down in Cradley Heath,
yeah.
did 5 minutes, absolutely died on my arse and thought this is the career for me. And I've been doing it ever since.
Okay, because most people, like the first time, I rarely speak to people who say the first time went well. So what sort of like one gave you the I don't know what the female equivalent of the bollocks to get up and do it, and why did you want to continue doing it?
I think it's a bit of a long-winded answer, but I'll give you the full story. And I'll be honest. So to be very short about it, the I had some bad stuff like happen in my family.
Not applauding that, not applauding the bad stuff. Every comic I speak to never starts out of joy.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
God, I'm going to say, tell me your shit life, which is horrible. Tell me your commisery, please.
Okay, I'll tell you the commisery. So, my nanny got very sick. Unfortunately, she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and it completely changed my life. Like it's so weird. Like look, prior to getting the phone call to say that she'd been diagnosed and that basically it was no longer a case of what do we do to make Nanny better. It was now a case of what do we do to make her comfortable. Prior to that, I was in this job that I'd made my entire personality, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
I just molded myself around this corporate job and I didn't have anything else for myself. This job was number one before anything. Like I didn't have a life, I didn't have mates, I had nothing, right? And then I got that phone call and literally in the blink of an eye, everything changed. And I remember looking around because I was in work when I got the call. And I remember looking around and thinking, I don't give a fuck about it. Sorry, can I swear?
come on, yeah.
Oh,
Say
okay,
anything
cool.
you want, yeah.
Yeah. I remember just looking around and thinking, I don't give a fuck about any of this. This means nothing. All of a sudden, this is completely meaningless to me. And yeah, fast forward about 6 weeks, 8 weeks, she unfortunately passed away. And I think it was about 8 months after that, we lost my uncle. He took his own life. And that was, again, another complete like head fuck. And I took a month off work for that because I realized what I was doing, and I did this immediately after losing Nanny. Was like I was using work as a coping mechanism, and this thing just got thrown at us because you never expect somebody to take their own life, of course.
Uh,
This thing got thrown at our family, and all of us just stopped in time and went, "What the fuck is going on? What the hell is this?" And yeah, so that happened, and there were other little things. There is a fly in here. I'm not happy. There were other things that happened that were it was bad, but they were the two main things that really forced me to stop and go, right, what am I doing here? What am I doing? Why am I doing this job? Do I actually like this job? What am I doing with myself? And yeah, the so we lost my uncle in the March, and then the sort of September, October time, I was diagnosed with ADHD and autism, and that again is another head fuck because that's like holy shit. You're basically being told like, yeah, this thing that you think is wrong with you is permanent, by the way, and there's fuck all we can do to change it. So thanks for that. Um, And I think I had a breakdown, if I'm being honest. I had a breakdown. I think I just realized where I'd gotten myself to. I'd gotten myself pigeonholed into this. I'd got myself into this corner of having nothing, of not knowing who the fuck I was, what the fuck I was doing. And not to sound like an Instagram meme, but basically coming to the realization, shit, we die at the end of this.
Yeah.
Like this is, yeah, you only got one life, live it, all that stuff. And yeah, then February came around and I thought, I'm going to do something that I'm frightened of. Because all the things that I was frightened of have happened, and all the things that I didn't even know I needed to be frightened of, they've also happened. So let me go and try and telling jokes on stage. Let me go and put a mic in my hands and talk in front of a room full of people and see what happens. And then yeah, fast forward, Holly Bush, did my 5 minutes, died on my arse, and I thought that was the best thing ever. Not the material, but the experience. The experience that was the best thing ever. And I went back and I've been doing it ever since.
So
So
you
yeah.
see, so you got the ecstasy from it. What was it about that first time that made you want to go back to it?
I think it was, again, not to sound all whoopy about it, but I think it was the realization that I'd done something that I was so frightened of, and that actually it really wasn't that bad. It really wasn't as scary as you think it is. You get up there and you've got the spotlight on you, and you've got all these people looking at you with this expectation, like, come on, make us laugh. And the thought the thought about that is way more terrifying than it actually, mate, this fly loves me, than the actual reality of it. Does that make sense?
Oh, wholeheartedly. And would you say you still get nervous going on stage now?
Yeah, yeah,
Good.
man. I did a gig.
Yes.
Yeah, I did a gig, Merlin's Calf in Birmingham last. No, was it last? Yeah, because we're Monday now, so it would have been last Thursday. And my heart was going, and I got on there, and I did sort of like, the first 5 minutes of it, and then the last sort of 2 3 minutes, you can feel the shakes like creeping in,
Yes.
and it's so weird. It was like, why are the shakes creeping in now? It was weird. I don't know, but yeah, man, I get nervous before every gig.
Do you have like a little ritual you do before it, or do you just, just get there, get straight on it, and
I've tried all sorts of stuff. Box breathing or just breathing in general tends to work a little bit. But what
box
I've
breathing?
found, box breathing, do you know what that is?
No, not a clue.
All right, box breathing is when you breathe in for X amount of seconds, you hold it for X amount of seconds, and then you exhale it for X amount of seconds.
Well, I'm
So
a
I tend to
smoker,
do,
so
okay,
I got
so
like
we'll
three
do low
seconds. Yeah.
seconds. So breathe in for five, breathe in for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold it for 1, 2, 3, then exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you can change the amount of time, you can change the seconds. I do 757.
Well, so
Um,
okay, so I think seven. I'm sorry, I don't know why I took that 757 there. Fucking hell,
yeah,
pass out. That's your act. You hold your breath for 5 minutes.
that's it. That's it, man.
No
That's the
wonder
whole
I
thing.
start. No wonder I start fucking shaking 2 minutes in.
Yeah, man.
So
Multi-talented.
yeah, actually, I got a cough now because I couldn't even do 5 seconds. Bloody hell.
Sorry, man.
So okay. So we've had how do I sound so insincere saying this, but I'm just doing it as the question. So we had the shit moment in life. Do we portray that on stage? Who are we on stage? Are you an alternative persona, or do you sort of treat it as like a therapy session, but come laugh at me?
I would say both. I think the person I am on stage is 100 times more confident and extroverted than who she is off stage. That doesn't mean that I, just completely clam up when I'm off stage. I still,
Mm.
obviously still talk to people and converse and whatnot. But the way that I present myself, or at least the way that I try to present myself, is as somebody that she knows what she's doing.
Mm.
She doesn't give a fuck. She don't give a shit what you think. If you're offended, that's on you. It's very, very much just I've got nothing to fear anymore, so I'm just gonna do it. That doesn't always come off every performance. It's sometimes the nerves just creep in, and you're kind of like, oh, you can't keep up with it or whatever. But yeah, as far as who I am performance wise, I try to be extroverted, confident, ruthless. That's
Good.
that's yeah, that's me.
Okay, so on stage, do you do like your storytelling, like your one-liners, like observation lists?
Maybe a bit of both. I'm trying different things to be honest. I always try and do something a little bit different every time. I do love a one-liner, so I've started putting more one-liners into my set. But I do like a storytelling as well. I do like to take people on a journey with things. Um, so yeah, I'd say a bit of both, to be honest with you. Yeah, definitely.
See, I can't stand one-liners, but I'm a sucker for them also. I get annoyed at myself for laughing at them.
Why?
I don't know because I feel like it's a quick guilty pleasure.
Okay, right. So you prefer a comedian that puts the graft in to get your laugh?
But actually, funnily enough, my favorite type of comedy is deadpan.
Okay,
But
yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
yeah.
I could never do it myself. But I just love it so much, but I could never do it.
Yeah.
I'm a storyteller.
Yeah. I
I
was just going to
myself,
ask you what kind of
yeah,
comedian are you?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do storytelling, but I start off with a couple of one-liners
Yeah.
just to like hit it quite quickly. So,
Yeah.
what would you say about going into the comedy world? What was the best thing about getting into comedy, and what was the worst thing?
The best thing was the friends that I've made. It sounds kind of sad, but like I said
No,
before, I'd made this job that I had previously my entire world. So everybody that I knew, I worked with, other than my family, of course, and a couple of mates that I've got down south. But it's like, when you live in completely different cities, you don't see each other very often, of course.
mm,
And yeah, I'd made this job my entire world, my entire life. So coming out of it, and you know how they say find your tribe. And I remember
yeah,
people would say that, I'd hear that all the time. I think it was so fucking cheesy, but it's
mm,
it's it's true. You find your tribe, and there's so many different people, so many different styles of comedy and performance, and yeah, I'd say that's definitely the best bit is just the people that I've met and the friends that I've made, for
okay.
sure.
And the worst thing about comedy?
The worst thing, the worst thing. Mm. The worst thing, it's probably an obvious answer, but like it's just when you bomb. But that's not really like the worst thing about comedy. That's more a consequence of that's more of a consequence, isn't it? The
Mm,
worst thing about comedy. Okay, I'll tell you something that kind of pisses me off, but then I've got to be careful how I word this because I've only been in comedy for 5 minutes, so there's probably there'll be women out there that will have experiences that will lend to the reason why they have these opinions. I don't like the whole gender conversation. I don't, I get it. I
mm,
get like, there's not enough women in comedy and, people don't think that women are fun and funny and this, that, and the other. I, I get it, but at the same time, I can't help but think to myself, the more you make it a conversation, the more evident it is. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's like
yes,
when
with you
you
on
the
that.
more you look, the more you look for something, the more you see it, right?
Mm,
It's like, oh, we don't have enough women, and like I've done gigs and like comedians have said, how does it feel to be the only woman on the lineup? And I'm like, up until this moment, I wasn't even thinking about it. So why are you?
yeah.
You know what I'm
So is
saying?
it
Like,
true that?
yeah, like why? Who gives a shit what you've got between your legs? Are you funny? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Unless what you got between your legs makes you funny.
Yeah, well, there is
You know,
that. There
there's
is
a lot of
that.
comedy
Yeah.
about that thing down there.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. But yeah, I just feel like why even talk about it? But as I say, I've only been doing comedy for 5 minutes and I'm very conscious that there are probably that there are comedians that have been, in the game for many, many years and they will have been exposed to misogyny
Yeah, of
and
course. Yeah,
misandry because it goes both ways, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
No, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
I agree. I do see some like Facebook groups where they're asking for like female only comedians. I do have a mixed bag about it because but I'm sort of if you're funny, you're funny. At the
yeah.
end of the day, I had one of the I can't remember who it was about 3 or 4 episodes ago, and she said up until last year they still had women comedian as a category on Netflix. And I was like, why is this a complete segmentation? I mean,
Yeah.
like one of my favorite comedians of all time, and sort of going along the deadpan route is Joan Hart.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, they're
Go-
like short red
Yeah.
hair, glasses. She always on
Yeah.
QI. I literally go to QI episodes just to watch her. Like
Yeah.
she's like absolutely brilliant. It's I do get like if we stop talking about it, hopefully it just goes goes away.
Yeah. It's like how much of it is a problem of our own creation. And the irony is, it's such a divisive rhetoric when you think about it, because as you've just said, you've got Facebook posts. I went and did Beat the Frog
Oh yeah,
last week, I think it was. And the
how we
only
do?
reason, 2.5 minutes.
I was gonna. Oh, okay, we'll go on to gong shows in a bit. But okay,
Okay.
so
Yeah,
go on.
yeah. But yeah, the only reason why I got on it was because I saw a Facebook post that said looking for a female act for tonight's Gong Show.
Yeah,
And it was literally like, okay, great. I got on it and whatever, but it was just like, and I got to be careful because I'm not trying to like come from or anything like that. But I was expecting it to be like, we need a video or whatever. And it's
yeah,
cool that there wasn't, because I got an opportunity. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that is just their process. Maybe the process is the same whether you're male or female. But I know I've seen Facebook posts looking for a female act, just comment below and the gig's yours. And I think, well, under other circumstances, would you be asking for videos? Would you be asking for CVs? Would you be asking for, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Or is
And
it
it was
just a case of,
like,
oh, I ain't got no tits on my lineup, man. Go and find. Well,
well, they
that's a
should have
bit
come to me then. God, I'm a.
double D's.
Actually, you can see it through the camera.
Yeah.
I,
Twinning. Yeah.
I, you got me.
Sorry, man.
I do get.
Breathe, brother. Breathe.
Yeah, well, I go do 5 seconds. I'll do six by
Yeah.
the end of this. I do get yeah, equality of outcome over equality of like best
Opportunity.
a job.
Yeah, yeah.
And the ones I find weird is when it's like says like the promoters like 40, 50-year-old Barry. I do get a sort of like semi like cuck vibe coming from
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, yeah,
One
yeah,
of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
But then, you know, if it works in your favor, go for it. I
Well,
say these
yeah,
days.
that's
But
it. That's something else that other people have. That's something else that people have said is like, look, man, just use it to your advantage at the end of the day. And
yeah,
it's tricky, isn't it? Because I mean, I'm just completely shitting on everything I've just said here. But my intention is to use it to my advantage. If an opportunity comes along my way, I'm just going to do it. But I have to trust that you've still, yeah, you can use an opportunity to your advantage. But equally, it's as important that you put the work in and write good material.
yeah,
Don't just rest on your laurels or rest on your tits. Just you've got to write good material, man. And if your material's shit, then you're shit at the end of the day. If your material's good, then you're good. The fact that you've got a vagina should have no impact whatsoever.
completely. Oh, love it. I was
Yeah.
gonna- So, would you say you should play every single room you're offered, or should you say to yourself, because we're starting out, should we do every room we possibly could, or should we sort of already early on accept that some rooms might not be for us, some might be for us, or should
Mm.
we just take everything we can?
You don't know a room or that an audience isn't for you until you've gone and done the gig. That's my opinion, or that's my experience anyway. I think when you're starting out, stage time, and yeah, this is just me speaking from what little experience I do have. Stage time is what you want. That's paramount to everything. So you want the 5 minutes, you want the 10 minutes, wherever it is, whoever it's for, whatever. You go and do it, and I think with time and with experience, then you can start to sort of work out. Okay, I don't know, for argument's sake, a working man's club with a demographic of 50-plus-year-old white guys isn't necessarily where I'm going to go and do all of my Rastafarian jokes. Do you get what I mean? Like
I feel
yeah,
that.
yeah. But at the same time, early on, it's like, well, you want the experience, and I would argue and say you need the bad experiences and the you need to bomb as well as be successful, because you need to know what it's like to. You need your ego checked.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know,
no, completely
your
agree. Completely
ego
agree.
checked and your resilience tested. That's what you need. Yeah,
Really.
in my opinion.
Well, I did a gig a couple Mondays back in Shoreditch, and it was a very, very left swinging place. And I'm not going to go to my political views, but I'm middle of the fence.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm no
yeah,
way
yeah.
whatsoever. But
Which
I
in today's society, by the way, means you're right wing, by the
oh
way.
yeah
Apparently.
yeah
So,
cool
so yeah, yeah, yeah. So you voted reform. Go on, yeah.
yeah. I got the swastika on the back, that's why I got to wear a top
Yeah.
for.
My heart goes out to you, brother.
I opened the gig with I don't know why I opened it with I fucking hate the left. They made it so you can't laugh at fat people anymore. Made
Yeah,
this job
yeah,
a lot harder.
yeah.
Nothing, and I'd lost the room from there and like I remember they said, "Oh, time goes quick on stage." No, it did. No, it did not. It was just bomb after bomb. After... So yeah. So you've got your 5 minutes at the moment. How often would you say you change your material?
Do you know what? That's a good question. I I would say there isn't really a time limit on it. I'm not like, oh, I've done the same thing for 2 weeks, time to switch it up. I like I said before, I try and do something different every single time, whether it's changing where I put the inflection in a sentence,
Okay.
changing how long a pause I leave between the next jokes, uh, stripping out words, putting more words in. I try and do something different every single time. As far as actually changing all of my material, I think that's just ongoing. That's all of the time, isn't it? You always, something new will pop into your head and, oh, let
Yeah.
me switch up that punchline and let me add this little tidbit in. And especially where you've written material that's drawn off of your own experiences as well, because you'll have a memory of how it all went down. And as you tell the joke, something else will pop into your brain and go, oh, actually, let me tell you about this bit as well, because this is kind of funny or relevant to the story or
Yeah.
whatever. So I'd say it's ongoing slash all the time. Yeah.
And how would you say you're writing? You're right. No. What is your writing ethos? Do you like carry a book with you all the time? Do you like segment part of the day, or is it just when something comes to the head?
Yeah, when something comes to mind, I jot it down. I
If
do
you
write it.
forget
I
it
do have
ten
a little.
seconds later.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, yeah, yeah, I'm registered retarded. Like, it's mandatory for me to do all that. You know what I mean? Yeah, the book, a notebook, is definitely it's. And I tell you why I like a notebook is because whenever I write a joke, I always kind of work backwards. The punchline is usually the first thing that comes to mind, and then I frame a joke around that.
Right.
And uh, I've always my note to myself is write the joke, edit it, edit it again, and then edit it again. Because whenever I write the joke, the first draft is always way too wordy. I always put too much into it
Yeah.
because I have a tendency to like over explain. So I overwrite, if you like.
Mm.
And the reason why I prefer a notepad is because I can always tell when I've overwritten because my hand gets tired. And it's
Oh.
like, even though, it'll be like, maybe three, four lines or whatever,
Mm.
my hand will get tired because I'm like, and
Mm.
I go, you've done too much here because your hand's tired and you know what I mean? Like, there's
Yeah,
too
I'm with
many,
you.
too wordy. It's too wordy. So the physical act of writing it gives me some indication as to how whether I've done too much, that kind of thing. But yeah, if I'm in a rush, if something just pops into my brain, if I'm in the car or whatever, then yeah, I'll just get notes and just quickly just jot down the punchline just so it's there as a reminder.
Now,
Yeah.
driving is the worst time to. Oh, yeah, really quick. The worst thing for me when it comes to comedy is the traveling.
Yeah.
No, no,
Yeah.
that's the worst for me.
Yeah.
Like, but we're driving because yeah, I sometimes you got to pull over quickly just to write the notes. So yeah, I'm not gonna say I do a voice note on my phone when driving. Not
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. No,
but
no, no, we don't do that. Never. Nah,
okay.
man.
So we've done the 5 minutes. How many gong shows have we done so far, and how have we
Just the
done?
one.
Just the
Just
one.
just just the one. Yeah, just the one. That was Monday just gone. And that was Beat the Frog in Manchester. And yeah, I did I was in the middle. I did 2.5 minutes, and then I got gonged off, or
Did you
frogged off,
feel it
whatever you want to
coming,
call
or
it. You what, sorry?
did you feel the gong coming?
Yeah. You feel the guy who went before me won. He won the
There you
clap
go.
off.
Oh,
So
bar
it was
prick. What a
like,
prick. Yeah. Yeah, you don't
yeah,
want
it's
that.
like I'm not following that, and he was brilliant. Like he fully deserved it. Like yeah, and to be honest, yeah, I was a little bit like, gutted, man. I wish I'd have gotten the 5 minutes in, whatever. But to be honest, before even going on stage, I was like, I know I'm not gonna get. I know my material is not. It's not sharp enough for this crowd. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not delusional at the end of the day. Well, I am, but I'm not. I mean, I'm a stand-up comedian, but I'm kind of in the moment. I'm able to compartmentalize my delusion from the reality, and yeah, I was like, this is not gonna be my night, but I'm here. I still want to do it, so let
Yeah.
me crack on. And yeah, 2.5 minutes, and you can feel the audience kind of like lulling because they've
Yeah.
just had like an absolute pop. Like
Yeah.
this guy got something like fucking 6 clap breaks or something ridiculous like that. Like he was the businessman. He was so good. So you can always feel the audience like, oh, like you know what I mean?
Oh, no,
Um,
I get that. I get
yeah,
well. The first ever show I ever did was a gong show at the London a comedy store in London. About 300 people, I think. And
that was
a
your
lot
first show.
first ever show. I emailed them Monday at 6 o'clock. No, Monday at 5 o'clock, and they got back to me 10 minutes later saying we've just had a couple dropouts. You can come down tonight.
Yeah.
So I went. I lasted a minute 20, 23 seconds.
Wow.
It was like a deer in the headlights. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
forgot
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, been
yeah,
there.
yeah, and gong shows are brutal. They are brutal. And but the one thing I always try and say is you can never take them personally.
Oh,
It's just
mate.
there's only
Yeah.
three people in the room who dictate it. Do you know what I mean? You might have had, a vivid racist in there. You might have had, someone who's against this, someone who's against that, like anything. You don't know who they're giving the cards to. You make one
No,
joke that they don't like, 99% of them find it funny.
exactly. Yeah.
And
And you could
it's
give the cards to somebody who's never even been to a gong show before, doesn't, you know what I mean? And it almost kind of like has a bit of a, maybe they have a little bit of a power trip, I don't know, and they're like, I can get rid of this person, whatever, I can decide their fate. Like there was one guy who was he was a couple of comedians after me, and I think he did 4 minutes, and he was brilliant. He should have done the 5 minutes
yeah,
easy, and yeah, after 4 minutes he got frogged off, and as he was coming off the stage, the audience they were like, yeah, like. But you could hear them kind of going like, why are you leaving? Like,
yeah.
why have you gotten rid of this guy? Like, he was brilliant, and they really like rallied for him. So I was like, that just proves that it's not, as you say, to be taken personally. You know?
Do they rotate the gongers?
No.
Oh, see, I don't like that. I like shows where they say, right, so the first, say there's like 20 acts. After
Yeah.
every 5 acts, they'll rotate the gongers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which was in
Uh,
my case, so I've got no leg to stand on.
okay.
I can't even blame it on that. I've got no leg.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we're quite new to this. I'll ask this question. So, if you could give any advice to somebody who's thinking about doing it, but they're not quite sure, what advice would you give them?
Do it. Just do it. Look, you don't know. It's like what we said about whether or not to go and do certain rooms, certain audiences. You don't know that a room or an audience isn't for you until you've been and done it. Yeah, okay, you've been doing comedy for a few years. You're going to be a little bit more of a you're going to know what audiences and what demographics are for you, that kind of thing. But look, when you're new, just 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 go and do it. You do not know that something isn't for you until you've had a go at it. And I suppose the question you got to ask yourself is, are you delaying it because you're nervous? If so, that's even more reason to go and do it, because you're only going to say to yourself, am I going to regret the fact that I didn't do it, or am I going to be happy with the fact that I didn't take the risk? You know what I'm saying? Does that
Yes.
make sense? Like
But okay, so let me ask, if everything didn't happen with your family, do you think you would have still gone and done it?
no, no, definitely not. No, I think that
Do you need to hit rock bottom?
uh that's a tricky one, isn't it? Because it's so subjective, like comedy, funnily enough.
Uh,
Um, I don't think you need to hit rock bottom, but I think that in order to do anything that challenges you, you need to first have been challenged in a way that you weren't expecting, you know? Because I don't know. I did it because as I said, all the things that I was afraid of had already happened. So public speaking, which was something that I was terrified of, suddenly became quite minimal. I was still nervous, of course, and I still get nervous now, but I'm like, all this shit happened and I survived it. So yeah. So to answer your question, no, I don't think you have to hit rock bottom per se, but I think that you need to be challenged in a way that makes you look at it and go, well, if I can do that, then I can do this. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I mean, Shawnee, that was absolutely brilliant. Thank you ever so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been cool, man.
I will give you a shout out. You host a podcast as well, don't you?
I do, yes. So my podcast is called What's the Latest with Shawnee and Co. It's a show where we talk about anything and everything to everyone and anyone. Which you're welcome to come and talk to me, by the way. Come and talk shit for an hour, man. We'll do it.
I can only do 30 minutes.
Okay, come and talk shit
Yeah,
for 30
yeah.
minutes then.
You
No
think you've
worries,
got
man.
ADHD? My fingers are triggering right now.
But yeah, I have that podcast. You can find me on YouTube, Spotify, and I've also you can find me on Buzzsprout as well. Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Right. Awesome. Shawnee, I'll make sure you all tagged it. Thank you ever so much for that.
Thanks, mate. You're a star.
Uh,